You're live. Welcome everybody to our stream. The torture belongs to he who has the bishops. Sorry, I need some glasses. Close enough. Alright. Yes, hero, Astrobate. What's up? How are things on the West Coast, brah? Almost West Coast. Rest in peace, Coolio. Alright. What are we gonna do? Play some cheese. Cheese. I hate puzzles. Did I tell you guys that? How much I hate puzzles? Say what? Alright. My mouse is hovering over the wrong position. That's a funky puzzle. Downright strange. We're down a piece here. Only move that seems obvious is like rook g8. Rook g8. Rook g8, rook g3, queen g3. With the idea of bishop e5, I mean, that's weird. Maybe bishop e5 directly. Why do I always get these like weird puzzles when I just try to do one puzzle? My tummy hurts. I ate a big breakfast. Man, this mouse does crazy stuff. Look at that. Alright, screw the puzzle. I hate this puzzle. I don't want to look at it anymore. How bad is my lag today? Yeah, I don't know. I think my mouse, it's not clear. Ping. Yeah, man, it must be like Streamlabs because I have perfectly okay connection. Then I start to stream and my ping is like in 400 zone. Are you serious? I want to give you white. Here we go. Well, yeah. What do you play here? Oh, the e4 gambit. I've forgotten about this. I have a tummy ache. Maybe a little on the quiet side. For a few minutes till I collect myself. Alright. Wow, queen c2? Is that right, master? Is that really right? Is that how we're supposed to play this? You know, you've played f3 in the past, right? What is queen c2? I think we caught him off guard. He's like forgotten his own analysis or something. I mean, you can still play f3, but I'm not sure about queen c2. I mean, usually you end up playing that to defend the c3 pawn or something, but you have an obsession with queen c2, you know that? Familiarity breeds contempt. Deep thoughts here. I mean, the pawn on d5, man, that gives him a serious space advantage. Okay. But now you played f3, but f3, knight f6, queen c2. I'm skeptical of queen c2. Queen c2 is unnecessary. I'm thinking about trying something new, like e5. e5 kind of looks cool. We could play bishop g5 there, for example. I'm sure e5 is sound here. I wonder how bad it is to actually just take on f3. Take f3, d6. It's dangerous, man. I'm gonna stay in the comfort zone. This is what Roman instructed me to do. This is definitely, not very useful for white. I think if I play queen a5 here, we'd probably transpose to a common position. Basically, I took a lot of time to play standard move. Castles. It's kind of nice not having my queen on a5 for once. Not sure I want to commit to castling kingside. This is just crazy. I know. I just want to experiment. If you like Klingons and you like fetishes, you might want to check out Rachel Dolezal's new OnlyFans page. Masturbate. Just throwing it out there. It's a shame Mr. Coffee's not here for this subject. But I like to stay up on current events. No matter, if G-rated or X-rated. My king is a pawn. If I say it's a pawn, it's a pawn. And that's the way it is. I like this guy. He plays too perfectly. Oh my God. Have to be kidding me. It's the London. I try my best to be creative and create something new, Toyota Corolla is the only Corolla I know. Very reliable car, from what I've heard. And again, I do try to stay up on current events. Some bishops are more equal than others. What? Queen to C1? What does that do? You're gonna sack your bishop? Dude, that's deep. Deep thoughts with Sumaher. He was threatening bishop takes e5 check. Oh man, there's some crazy shit here. I could have played knight takes e4. Am I normal? I could have played knight takes e4. Oh my God. You gave me that? Knight takes e4? Oh my God. It defends the g4, the g5 pawn. I was like, yeah, why is his queen on c2 in the first place? It's like defending the central pawn. Holy shit. Knight takes e4, queen e3, knight takes g3, queen g3. Bishop d3, he went back. He's like he's malfunctioning, basically. Yeah. missed his golden opportunity. Then he panicked. What golden opportunity again? I don't know. Another sacrifice. My other brother Daryl. Knight g4, bishop c5. That's pretty nasty. That's not happening. Build the wall! Give me my tool belt. We're gonna build this wall. The wall. The dark square wall has been hammered into place. Classic Gingy Indian. Do the roar. He has bishop g5, g4, bishop e3, g4. Yeah, that's a good move. Do the roar, Aster B. My tummy still hurts. What is the deal? Indigestion. Stale roll. Wow, bishop d4. Gotta love that. You gotta take it. Or do I? It's an amazing move. I think I'm playing Hans. Well, I was playing Hans. For at least one move. Jesus. What? I'm definitely playing Hans here. Very Hans-like play. What? Literally every move is unexpected. I don't know, man. Bishop d4? Seriously? I think Sumera got tired of losing today. That is amazing. Wow. Bishop d4. I couldn't find an answer. This is crazy. He just annihilated me out of nowhere with Bishop d4. I mean... Seriously? You got your anal beads? Doesn't even work? I should have just taken it, maybe with a c-pawn, I don't know. That was the best move. I also failed to realize that I could play knight h5. Winning here. I was afraid of this. But it's not even a big deal. Wow, man. You're so fast. But I mean, your speed is unbelievable. You're like winning. Even this position that looks crazy, you're winning according to the computer. Queen c1 was actually an engine move. And I thought it was a mistake. It's the #1 move of Stockfish. Coincidence? And then after Queen g8 you went back. So even you didn't understand your own combination. This is crazy. Bishop takes e5, King takes e5, Queen e3, and you're winning. But you found Queen c1. Funny, I lost as soon as I got to a winning position. a4 is also a very natural move, but the engine #1. Now I got in enough counterplay. Bishop d4, I can't believe you played that. Bishop d4. What if I take the other way? e5 checks, too strong. So this was right, and I have to play like knight h5 now. Why didn't I see that? I think I failed to... The problem was that I failed to realize that knight h5 protects f4. You know, so I was afraid of this, but I mean, this isn't possible now. If I had realized f4 was protected, I would have played knight h5. Oh, man. Okay, I mean, king d6 is crazy, but it was fun. Well, computer gives white a winning position here. After king d7. Okay, king d7 is crazy, but still, Jesus Christ, it's #1 move. King d7 was in the top 3 moves there, and you guys think I'm crazy. But it did drop down. h6 is a very smart move. You see, that's too simple for me to find that. I would need time. Obviously queen d6, but at least the queen is the worst blockader. I was proud of this move, but computer prefers to go here. Maybe the computer's right. Anyway, alright. Alright, good game. Learn chess. God, what do I have to lose the first game of the day? He was like 0 for his last 20. GG. I love the GG. Thank you. GGing. Bishop d4 with 40 seconds left. First thing in the morning, you know. I don't know. Bijak, you play that like the GG Indian like you face it every day. It's like now you're like a world leading expert in that. Do you have a friend or someone you play who plays it against you a lot? I mean, I've played it against you like 4 times in the last couple of years, but I mean, you act like you're very familiar with it. It makes me feel like you have a friend that you played against or something. You seem very comfortable there. I have this weird idea here. But I didn't play it against you for a long time. I thought you would have forgotten what to do. What do we have here? Oh, that's a spicy move. E4. E4 exclamation point. Now you're watching Hikaru? No, you watch Hikaru. Asabi watches Hikaru clips. Life's too short to watch Hikaru. Alright. He's insisting on playing Gambit. Learning just you don't even normally play Gambits. You had to play the Gambit side of this? I was trying to play a Gambit and you like forced me to accept a Gambit. What's going on here? Normally learning chess plays like very proper cutting edge opening theory. You know, like there's not a single game with E5 in the opening Explorer. I guess we took him out of book. Legals, mate. Legal. Is it legal? Very comfortable. This is like a mystery player that we know nothing about. They just keep coming and playing me in my stream, but we have no info. Extremely top secret. They're 0-27, except they're really strong. It's just bizarre. They're a really good player who's 0-27 against me. Because that's a thing. It's hard to play well and be 0-27, but he seems to have mastered it somehow. I don't know what to say. Feels like I should have a good move here, but I can't find it. Guess I just have to defend the pawn with bishop f5. Yeah, Astrobate. I know where you spend all your bits. Alright. New Wombat. Or any Wombat. Somebody wants to castle queenside. I mean, like, honestly, I really don't like this pin. You don't say. You're castling queenside. I never would have guessed it. Now what do I do? This could get kind of sharp. Prophylactically retreating. So the idea is, if you don't want to play c6, and how the hell do you get your queen into the game? I'm trying to be a little bit on the creative side today. Say I don't want to play c6 and open this up. You know, how do I unpin myself? There's always like queen e8. That's definitely an option. Strong blockading move. Well, anyway, my queen is buried. One of the best chess players in France. That was in the, in the heyday when France was like the chess center of the world. I always thought it was funny. You know what's weird is that France was considered to be like the chess center of the world at some point in like the 19th century, the early 19th century or whatever. But like they're like the last Western country to like have a grandmaster player. Isn't that weird? I guess the World Wars didn't help them too much in that front. 1750s, really? Oh wow, that early. Even earlier than I was thinking. You're a 1750, right? Mystery player. Learning chess, we'd like to know who you are, a little more about you. We assume you're not really from Antarctica. I can't believe I haven't lost any games to this player. He's probably had like 4 winning games against me, at least, in those 27. I don't remember specifically, but there's something strange about it. Paranoid ranting. It's what I specialize in. How could this player possibly be 0-27 against me and be that good? Even the blind squirrel finds a nut occasionally. You'd almost have to be losing on purpose. I would say he plays extremely, extremely well. And extremely fast. But what is the deal with this account? I am learning chess. 1600 classical. First of all, his chess 960 rating makes him about 2000 strength in real chess. So that's weird. Very strange chess 960 rating. The weird name, I am learning chess. Yeah, we're all learning chess. Queen e2, preparing g5. He can instantly find the right idea. It's pretty disheartening. I don't know, man. There's something weird about this account, seriously. I've maintained it all along, but yeah, I mean, he's learning at a pretty fast rate. Look at his ratings. He's like a beginner who's 0-27 against me, but he plays like he's 2100 or something. And it always just like loses in a weird way. Like he's losing on purpose or something. It's extremely fast. Maintaining the time edge like the entire game, regardless of position. Bishop's tracked. It's crazy. Seriously. Knight f4. Huh. I don't know, man. There's something weird about this account. Seriously. F5's crazy. I have to be very, very careful here. I guess I could play f5 maybe. It's extremely dangerous. No, I mean, there's something not right about this account. It's very strange. Too fast, too strong. There's no way he's 0-27 against me, but playing that well. Like, look how instantly he sees these tactics. Instantaneously. you know, on queen c4. 1 second. I mean, you're 0-27 against me, 1700, and you see tactics instantaneously. You would be at least 2100. And I guess I could have played queen takes c3 there. I guess it's a blunder, actually. I don't know. It feels like he's 1600 going on 2200. You're seriously learning. I don't know. If you went through all these 27 games against him, they're pretty weird. That's all I know. Knight takes f5. Defending e3. While you're at it. It's normal. Holy shit. Yeah, it's the Hans system. Han Solo. Dude, whatever. I mean, that's got to be an engine move. This is so suspicious. I just can't play this account anymore. It's totally the last game I'm going to play them. I'm really bored of this. Guessing whether or not this is an engine. It plays like an engine. It's like a 1500 who's an engine, who's using an engine. And then like he doesn't want to be suspicious, so he makes mistakes at some point eventually and loses the games. That's the distinct impression that I have of this account. An engine who wants to like troll me, but at the same time not be too pushy about it. It's just really weird, dude. Of course it's weird, dude. I'm gonna ban this account from playing it anymore. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously strong. This is the last game with this player. Seriously, I've said this before, but I mean it now. I am not playing you anymore. I'm tired of the games with this player. They're definitely enhancing their play with engine moves. There's just no conceivable way that you're 0-27 against me, and every game I play with you, you're like better. I'm in Zhuang. Yeah, whatever. I resign. Alright, dude. I'm not going to play that account anymore. It is totally dubious. I'm done. I mean, it's been a long time that I've been dealing with this, but I am totally done with you. Alright. I really don't want to play an engine. I'm tired of playing people who are engines. There's no conceivable way your ratings are like that, and you play the way you do, and you've lost 27 games against me. Now you beat me after 27 losses. You You're welcome to watch the stream, but I'm not going to play any more games against that account. You'll have to make a new account. You know, I mean, they're carefully, like, not playing all engine moves, but there's something not right about it. How can you be like 1600 in Blitz and 1700 in Chess 960? Nobody has that. The account actually has a higher rating in Chess 960 than normal chess. That's crazy. If anyone's even slightly dubious, I'm not going to play them and just ban them from the channel. But I've been ranting about that account for like a year and a half now. He thinks because he loses every game, he can continue to do it. Chess 960 is much harder. The ratings are much more deflated. So if you're like 2000 in Chess 960, you're like 2300 in Blitz. That guy's Chess 960 rating is like almost 1800. I don't think anybody's going to be comfortable playing Hans. It's sort of ridiculous. Black played a very strange move, H6. But I don't really I don't have any good things to say about the US Championship. You know, it's been hijacked by Rex Singfield, you know, and it's no longer the US Championship, it's now the St. Louis Chess Club Championship. I really could care less, you know, since Rex took over, you know, the US Championship. I think it's disgusting. Pathetic US Chess Federation just handed over the US Championship to this billionaire. The US Championship should be held in different places all over the United States, not every year in freaking St. Louis. You know, it's just disgusting. But I don't live in the United States since a long time, so I don't really pay much attention to it. But I certainly would never step foot in the state of Missouri or, you know, St. Louis. Or certainly any tournament where that guy was like, for political reasons, if not chess. No, it's just sad, man. The U.S. Chess Federation should organize the U.S. Championship, not a billionaire. Oh, they'll do anything for a billionaire benefactor, you know. These guys who are like lining up to like move to St. Louis, they have no shame, you know. They have Serwan and people who like commentate for the St. Louis chess. Man, they would do anything for $1, you know. It's just crazy. I don't know, man. The new generation. There's so many generations. I don't know where to start. I don't really like a lot of the younger American players. But I don't like anybody. I'm just an old grumpy guy. Robeson seems nice, but he's an old man too now, you know. I think like Ray is one of the only people who I don't dislike. Um, or I'm just neutral against, you know. I'm neutral toward most people in the US. But I mean, I've been living there for years, so I don't know what to say. I don't really like too many American players. But I don't know them, you know. I mean, I live in Europe, so I don't really know them. I've never met most of them. Queen G5. I really don't, you know, I shouldn't even be like talking about American chess players. I just don't really know them. When you say like new generation though, man, I don't even know what generation we're talking about anymore. Um, Players that were young 10 years ago are still young for me. I noticed how Naroditsky, he got the gig doing the New York Times thing. It got canceled. It was the stupidest idea ever. I wonder if that was his idea or the New York Times. Now they're doing crossword instead in the New York Times. It was really weird though. I mean, why would you get a West Coast chess player to do a New York Times chess column? That was just really like gross. It wasn't a chess column anymore. They destroyed it, so that's gone. I thought that was weird, but of course it was canceled. It was really stupid. It was like a play. It was like in the game section of the New York Times, and it was like guess the move sort of thing. It had zero chance of succeeding. There's no way the general population was going to go for that. They could have just kept the normal chess column. Now they replaced it with like beginner crosswords or something. It's really sad. Yeah, I mean, I guess Naroditsky is at least thoughtful. No. But I mean, you know, here's another guy who just plays bullet chess all the time. I don't get the bullet chess thing. You know, I really don't get it. He's an awesome bullet chess player. Who cares, you know? Another guy I don't understand is Jeff Zhang or whatever. Like, he's like 2700 but doesn't play chess, or what is the deal? He's like the only 2700 player in the world who never left the United States to play in a tournament or something. I mean, I don't get it, man. He just became a 2700 because it would look good on his resume to work for like a tech company or something. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's so strange. I'm just joking around. I don't understand. I don't know anything about the American chess players. Younger generation of American chess players. I mean, beyond like the generation of John Bartholomew and Robeson and Hikaru and like Robert Hess and people of that age. You know, basically anyone younger than 30, I'm just like not really qualified to talk about it. I just don't know anything about anybody. But I think the culture of chess, you know, has been destroyed by like bullet and online chess. There's like grandmasters who know nothing about the history of the game of chess, which is really kind of gross. Like who you couldn't, people who have the GM title that they wouldn't even be able to tell you like who were the previous world champions. It's just kind of sick. Like historical bankruptcy. It's just become a video game. Like they're making chess into a video game, basically. That's all it is. It's just like another video game. Oh, man, Black is tough. I don't know who New Wombat is, but he's a solid defender. I'm in a bad mood today. I don't know why. It's been raining like the last 7 days, so I think I'm depressed. I lost to Sumahair. Then I lost to Learning Chess, who I've always thought was a really dubious account. Oh, this actually works. Wow. He should have played Rook B8 instead. Everyone's faster than me because they just like play bullet chess and move quick all the time. I was joking about ranting in my stream title, but I ended up like really ranting. I think it was self-fulfilling, whatever it's called. You got lucky here. He dropped a pawn because of Rook B8, Rook D8 check. Unless my knight is trapped, which I don't think it is. It could be, but I doubt it. Yeah. Self-fulfilling prophecy. I subconsciously wanted to rant today, and so I put it in the stream title, and then I really started ranting. But it doesn't help that I lost the first game. Then the second player pissed me off. I lost that. 1600 plays like a computer. But very carefully not to play perfect moves. Just speed and, accuracy. Very suspicious. I don't like just randomly accusing people of cheating, but after I've played like 27 games with someone, I think if something's off, I have, some, the top young American player who's never had a coach, and he's not well off. Other lies. I don't know, man. I know that I would never respect anyone who cheated online. I have no opinion whether I have no evidence whether the guy cheated over the board. I think his online play is totally suspicious, and he's definitely cheated a lot online. That's enough for me. I don't need to see any more, But, I think Carlson is opening himself up for like a liability, or like a defamation lawsuit or something. Dude's gonna get sued for like millions of dollars. Unless he has some solid evidence. I mean, I could see like the lawyers lining up to get Hans to file like a lawsuit stating that Magnus like destroyed his career. I'm surprised he hasn't already. I don't like Hans, and I think he's a scumbag, but Magnus, if he's going to make this claim about over-the-board cheating, is going to need more than a gut instinct. On my chess stream, it's one thing. I can ban people and accuse them of cheating based on my gut, but I'm not saying like Hans would win a legal action, but I'd be surprised if he doesn't try. I don't know what a court would say about it. But I'd be surprised in today's world if that doesn't happen. I don't know what would happen, you think? I mean, I'm certainly not a lawyer. You're the doctor. But all we see all day long is like Donald Trump and other people filing lawsuits. I would be surprised if Hans didn't do the same. Even if he didn't want to, it's like, there's got to be a lawyer out there like looking for an excuse to file some sort of case. make a name for themselves. If nothing else, it's just good publicity. If you're a lawyer, I think like representing Hans would be really good publicity. Even if you don't win the case, probably. The wonderful experiences with divorce. I'm disappointed in Magnus. I didn't think he would continue this over the board cheating accusations without something more, concrete. I really didn't think he was going to go that way. It's enough that Hans cheats online, and that's all you need to say. I mean, I feel like Magnus, without any evidence, is only like hurting himself. Obviously, there's no way you could ever say for sure that Hans is cheating in his game against Magnus, the over-the-board game. But people have been researching his games, naturally, and there are apparently like a lot of games where he played almost perfectly in over-the-board chess. If you had a really good... If there were enough, games to analyze, you could probably come up with a pretty good idea. If he's like way above the accuracy of most 2700 players, doesn't look good, yeah, this is just over. Of course, I beat the highest rated player I played. It's the other ones that are the problem, the 1600s. You believe Ken Regan's analysis, but Ken Regan, dude, he's like 75 years old. He hasn't played a chess game in like 30 years. Ken Regan's acting like, Ken Regan's system is like based on the 80s when people were like using computers to play every single move. But that's not the point, they're not going to cheat. I know he's a statistician, man, but I think it's not realistic, But of course he's 2500. He was 2300. Hans was 2300. It's not like he's some weak player. Even before he started cheating, he was at least 2300, and he's gotten better. But I don't see how Ken Regan is relevant. I haven't seen Ken Regan in my life. He hasn't played a chess game since I've been alive, probably. Since the 70s or something. It's all based on if people are using the computer for every single move. Intelligent cheaters aren't going to do that, There's no way you're going to catch them. It's an art form to cheating. It's almost impossible to prove definitively. All you need is like a few moves, Ken Regan's system of catching people in the 90s when, we're talking about the Internet Chess Club and people using engines to play every single move perfectly. It's different, it's different now. It's very hard. A good cheater is going to mix up, tons of like random moves with a few engine moves at like key points and stuff. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to detect that. I was thinking like AI might be able to do it, to like notice patterns that even a human couldn't notice. I don't know, or conventional computers couldn't pick up. But I just don't see. I don't see any way to definitively catch cheaters. Huge problems? No. Is anyone here? Oh, we played this guy before. It's nice to play people are human. Human opponents. Alright. The other thing, a lot of people want to jump on the bandwagon. Why is Maurice Ashley getting involved? Who cares? What Maurice thinks. He wants to destroy chess and make it like NFL or something. We're all playing like bullet chess. Oh, bishop g5. Queen d7 is a move here. Oh man, Susan Polgar. Man, all over the place. I've just seen news agencies reporting what Susan Polgar's opinion on the situation of everything. You know, it's disgusting. Like, dude. Speaking of Ken Regan, dude, she hasn't played a rated chess game since like 1993 or something. I mean, it's disgusting. I can't stand her. She's such a scumbag. She sued the USCF at one point. Just anything to like promote herself in any situation. I can't stand the photos, like the airbrush photos that make her look like she's 20 years younger than she really is. Oh, her husband's awful. He's worse than her. I mean, it's probably his fault, you know, that she's as bad as she is. That guy was just awfully worse. He's really the reason, probably, she became so sketchy. The other sisters are okay, you know. Judith and Sophia are okay, but it's that guy's influence on her, I think, that made her so disgusting and corrupt. Paul, whatever his name is. Yeah, I just hate it when people try to like involve themselves just to promote themselves. She's also chimed in on the Ilya Smirin sexist comments scandal. They did terrible stuff, dude. She's horrible. Totally dubious. She screwed over a friend of mine out of like playing in the US Women's Championship years ago. She's just a disgusting person. But I don't think that, you know, that was her upbringing. She became Americanized at some point. But Dlugi, you know, all these like seedy characters coming out of nowhere now. Susan Polgar, everyone just wants to like use the media coverage to benefit themselves. Dlugi, Susan Polgar, Maurice Ashley, whoever, you know, they'll do anything to just like be relevant. Even Ken Regan. Of course, he's not as bad as the others. But I like how these people who are just irrelevant in the modern day chess world come out of the woodworks. You've got like Dlugi, Susan Polgar, Ken Regan, and who else did I say? Maurice Ashley. Combined between the four of them, I don't think they've played a rated chess game in the last like 20 years. But they're all over the news. Isn't that weird? I'm kind of inactive, but I've still played, I probably played like 200 chess games in the last 20 years. hired to do the analysis? What does that mean, Sora and Zalamash? He got hired to do the analysis by what? You know, by who? Like Rex Singfield or something? Like there's an official... What, like God hired him, or what exactly, you know, are we talking about? He was hired by the god Kaisha. Yeah, maybe. Not doing it for free, even better. That way he gets self-promoted and paid. That's not bad. No. I don't think computer scientists are big on self-promotion. But I mean, you know, like, I don't understand whose analysis of the game with Magnus, like, who's sanctioning that? You know what I mean? Like the FIDE or Rex Singfield or Magnus, the Magnus group, like what are we talking about? Like Hans Niemann's defense lawyers, like what? Who sanctioned like a paid analysis? What is that? I don't understand. That's sort of weird. No? And what does that mean? Like, Queen B5. Oh, God. Who, man, who? Who hired him to do a statistical analysis is what I'm asking you. Who? With what authority and what reason? Like, who are you talking about? Yeah, it's the satanic pedophiles in the Democrat government. The bidding. Whatever. The tournament organizers. Good old Rex. Did they borrow money from, you know, Josh Hawley's re-election donations, or how did they pay for it? I wonder. Yeah, I'm gonna start ranting. Anything that involves the St. Louis Chess Club or Rex Singfield. I like talking about the Magnus conspiracy. I think it's democratic, you know, satanic, carnivorous pedophiles that are behind the whole Hans Niemann cheating thing. I never gave a shit about it, honestly, about the over-the-board accusations. For me, the important thing is that the guy is a cheater, and he's a proven online cheater. That's enough. We don't need to talk more after that. You know, it's enough. So after this great statistician did his analyses, like, we still have no proof of anything, right? But we never would, you know, unless he was using like computer every single move. I mean, you know, in order to come up with a positive finding, like what? Hans would have to like play every single move the engine suggested. It's ridiculous, man. I can't even speculate whether people are cheating. No, whatever. It's hopeless. We need body cavity searches, metal detectors, x-rays. That's the only way we can be sure. I can't believe they would invite Hans to play in the hybrid sort of camera tournaments. That's another thing. Because cameras really prevent cheating. Totally. I mean, once you've got a camera, a webcam involved, obviously that's going to prevent any sort of cheating. I hate those online rapid things, and Magnus actually deserves it because he's the one who created that shit. When the pandemic started, every week it was a different Magnus Rapid, Magnus group, Now he's complaining that, there's a cheater. Well, there's a surprise. Imagine that. Wow, I'm getting mated. Jesus. How did my day start out so well? He's not threatening me yet, but it's close enough. Man, how did my queen get stuck out of the game forever here? It was dude, nice diagonal, but I can't do anything. I know, troll, right? This guy's crazy. He leaves his queen on that pin diagonal. Oh my god. Now I really am getting mated. This is devastating. This guy is tricky. 1300 bullet. This is absolutely absurd. But no one said a word about it. No, maybe there were, but anyway. No one heeded any warnings. The whole Magnus camera tournament trend during the pandemic, which I hated from the beginning. Because I play chess online all the time. I know everyone's cheating. You can't trust anyone. Only your personal friends. The only people you personally trust. Troll and roll, I have an idea for swallowing a computer. So even nude might not be good enough. Although that would probably turn you on. I'm not sure even nude play. Although it is kind of a funky idea. It would probably go down well in France. Nude beaches. We could have tournaments on nude beaches. I think they'll come up with computers that are small enough you can just swallow them. Like drug traffickers would swallow packets of cocaine or whatever, and then you just poop it out later. What do you think, Dr. Chessibra? Is that feasible? You feel your stomach vibrating? Swallow microcomputers and just poop them out later to avoid detection. I'm just thinking, maybe a little bit in the future. It would probably be easier to just have them surgically implanted, but this would be less invasive in a way. It wouldn't be permanent. They pill cameras already, right. Colonoscopy computer. Here comes the rook. I guess I could take with the bishop. Why would I prefer to take with the bishop? Well, if rook d8's coming anyway? Seriously? My queen has just been nothing but problems in this game. It's unbelievable. He has knight e1. So bishop takes knight e1. I guess I should take with the queen. Oh no, not chess base. Face palm. I hate chess base. Well, I hate everybody, but chess base is pretty bad. We don't talk about chess base. Alright. You don't know about the fact that chess base like sold products that were like not even developed by them under false marketing pretenses, like fat Fritz and stuff. Yeah, it's unbelievable. No, I mean, I think chess base is just awful. It should be put out of its misery a long time ago. The only thing that's saving chess base is like it's chess base India, because chess is so popular there. They started a big like chess base India news thing, so it's popular with the Indians. But that's it, you know. Like I think as far as chess base is concerned, the rest of the world is done with chess base. Caspa Negro. Highly carnivorous. It's pretty funny. Not going to get a rated challenge against me, especially not today. The way I'm playing. Ooh, this game was touch and go. Caspa Negro. All right, please don't play like you're, I don't know, 2,100. Although I generally do better against the high-rated players. I sort of had it with chess base when I had to like buy the product like 4 times and was unable to like upgrade. I realized that they're still like in the dark ages about 10 years ago. I was pretty much done with chess base at that point. It's like an 80-year-old guy, you know, sending out the products by hand or something. Chess base is dying a long and painful death. Like ICC. Alright. Scandinavian. The Fat Fritz thing was... I don't think that Friedrich Friedel or whatever his name is even knew what was going on. He probably just like randomly lets people do whatever they want. That Brazilian guy who was selling Fat Fritz, you know, I'm not sure like Friedel even knew about that. You know, he's just like this old guy like sitting there collecting the profits, not even like caring to make the company better over the last 20 years. Similar to ICC, you know. they never invest any money in improving the, investing capital back into the business. They just like, use it to buy more summer homes for themselves or whatever. That's what happens to a business when you never reinvest capital back into the business. It just slowly dies. People ask me all the time, like, how can I study openings, and I'm like, well, I don't know. There's like Chessable. That's not really exactly, like a chess database program. I don't want to and I don't want to recommend them to buy ChessBase. It's like, years ago there was the Russian site, like 20 years ago, Konvetka, that had a competing, chess database program, which I liked, but obviously they're pretty much defunct. Chess Assistant, right? I liked Chess Assistant, but obviously I'm not going to buy like a Russian made product, first of all, but secondly, I think they basically are practically out of business too. I mean, what do you recommend to someone who wants to study chess opening seriously if you don't recommend ChessBase? Like, there is no nothing to recommend. I mean, there's no competitor. They have a monopoly, and the monopolistic company isn't even that good itself. So it's like if Microsoft really sucked, but there's no Linux or anything. I really don't know what to recommend, Aquarium allows some cool customization. Let your computer go to town on opening analysis while you sleep. Oh, yeah. That's why you can't hate. Well, I mean, yeah. I still hate on them. It's like the only game in town. I would never buy one of their products ever again. I mean, I bought ChessBase like 4 times in my life. It's crazy. And then it was funny, I had like an account. You have like a ChessBase online account or whatever. And this was like 3 years ago. I hadn't used it in a long time, and I tried to log on, and I didn't remember my password, so I tried to do a password reset. And it wouldn't work, like the link wouldn't work, and I like sent them an email, and they didn't respond. It was like 2 or 3 emails, they didn't respond. Like 3 months later, they responded like a password reset message or something. It was just ridiculous. Like, I've literally spent like, I don't know, probably $4,000 in my life on chess-based products. Of course, none of that in the last like 15 years, but they can't even send me a password reset after spending like $4,000 in my lifetime on their products. It's really sick, man. Whatever. I was like done with them at that point. But I mean, when you have a modern software, it's normal to like purchase software and then be able to like pay for an upgrade, but you can't. You have to like rebuy ChessBase again or something, the new version. I have nothing good to say about them, like most people and entities. All right. Yeah, so if you ask me like, well, how can I study chess openings? I don't even have an answer for you. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Get like a free database program and download like all the weekend chess and create your own database. I mean, screw ChessBase. It's a lot of work, but you can download like other free database programs probably. that aren't as good, but I would not invest a dime into chess base. Been there, done that. Knight takes f7 followed by g4. That doesn't work. g4. Bishop g6 f5. So he's going to have to sacrifice a piece after g4. Like bishop g6 f5, knight takes e5. It's not really. Let's weaken our king side. Is this a blunder? No. No. Seriously, think about it. I love this rant stream on Friday. I've ranted so much we don't even have any more challengers. So bishop takes e5. He's 1500. He's like faster than me. Of course. He wins a pawn here. Now let's think about this for a minute. Hold on. Hold on a second. F takes, bishop takes g4, queen g2 wins a piece. F takes, knight takes g4. What would Hans do? F takes, knight takes g4. We have interesting possibilities like sacking the exchange and playing e6. It's not 100% convincing. My favorite variation is like F takes, knight takes g4, rook takes f5, pawn f5, e6, pawn takes e6, queen takes e6, check, king d8, and now he's starting queen takes h2 mate. I don't know, I'm going to play it this way as a pawn sack. Oh yeah, g takes was possible, but I mean I'm dropping d4 with check. That was my original plan, you know, and I think that's probably okay. Chess Zebra. What I don't like about that is that I lose my center. You know, here I get to keep this like massive center. I think it's like a, you know, it looks like a Caro-Kann advanced variation or something. Center good. Center make me happy. Center keep enemy out. You talk with Mr. Reagan, but you don't respect Chessmaster's opinion on chess. You challenge his opinion. Well, Mr. Reagan is a chess master too, but he's like, you know, he hasn't played a chess game like since 1981. You know, I'm a little bit more up to date, and I know, you know, the chess world. Yeah. Nobody respects my opinions, man. I'm just here. But everyone has a right to their own opinions. It's cool. Rook takes f5, pawn takes h3. So h3 is another interesting idea. But if I want to do h3, I should take on f5 first, then play h3. There's also like knight e4, for example. Very interesting move. Long-term pawn sack. Great compensation. You know, for example, Ronald Reagan. Ronald McDonald. I mean, I respect Magnus's like gut instinct more than most people. I mean, if you don't respect Magnus Carlsen's gut instinct, like whose gut instinct do you respect? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I'm definitely I'm definitely in Magnus's corner. You know, I'm not on a team, but I'm in his corner. And I'm no Magnus fan, but still, I respect Magnus. How can you not respect him? Oh, he has F5. That's devastating. Yeah, takes an F5. Yeah, so this is an interesting position, Chess Zebra, where, you know, we did have multiple choice test. Pawn takes F5, bishop takes D4 check, king H1, and I had the pressure bearing down on the center, but the center, formerly known as Sludgy Center, is gone. So now there's the F5 defense. Asterbate would probably sack a rook. He gets a little excited sometimes. Got to keep the emotions in check. Knight takes E5. So we have tremendous compensation for the sacrifice pawn in this line. Right. That's a problem. $1,500, and I'm losing on time. I don't know if I have enough compensation, objectively. I'm gonna have to sacrifice the exchange. An unexpected move. Oh, he's just gonna castle queenside, but it's illegal. Other than that, it's good. Right. $1,300, just 960. His ratings are consistent. Scary thing is, like, everyone is fast, no matter how good they are. Speed is like GM strength, bullet speed. We'll see about this game afterwards. Bishop G5. Knights are on H6. Oh man, he just like got mated in one. I mean, I'm not even sure I have enough compensation for the sacrifice. He played pretty well. So I'm stunned by people. Other than the maiden one, I mean, he played a good game. F4 question mark. G4 was best. So what do I do? G4 then F4? Is that the point? Do I play F4 now? Yeah. So my move order is bad. I should play G4 first, then F4. So here, let's see. Yeah, this is interesting, Chess Zebra. I made the right decision. But I have to admit, like, my original was your line. But I think this is a good learning position. This was my original line, but I realized, hey, I don't have a center anymore. I don't like this as much as the other line. You know, he can castle or something. So this was a huge moment to play f takes. Compensation. I played another good move here, because here wasn't obvious. 94. You know, it's tempting to do an exchange sack. I had this, and then e6, maybe. I don't know if, you know, our friend bishop g5 was in there. Kind of like the game. There were a lot of tough decisions in this game. I'm not even sure like where to put my bishop. Black has an equal game. Computer wants to sack the exchange. I have to, right? Pretty much. Yeah, queen d7 hits d4. I saw this, of course. Unfortunately, I can't allow this center to drop with check, and I can't trade queen, so I have to play some kind of queen move. It looks like queen e4. Queen e4. I'm down the exchange, but I have compensation. Hi, I'm 1100. Can I play with you? Yeah, I mean, I don't have any limits as far as rating goes. Just gotta have an established account. Troll, what are you doing with a 7+2? The other thing is I have to leave approximately 40 minutes. Alright. I mean, he's attacking a7. So it's a question of c5, knight b6, or b6. b6 contributes nothing to my position. c5 controls the center and develops my queen. I like this. He's playing the Grand Prix attack. How does this compare to the normal Grand Prix attack, Sicilian? I like... Don't know about these bishops. I've got to get this bishop out, right? This one is a problem. But I might be able to play f5 later, like d6 followed by f5. We're controlling the d4 square like a normal Sicilian. Everyone's trying to defend their assisted play. No, I play chess 960 if people want. I don't play other variants. Tabias, f4, f5, you're big on constructive development. It's a little early. That's an acerbate move, presumably. He played the Grand Prix attack to get his bishop out on g1. Yeah, f5 is an idea. It's an idea for black too. You're so clueless. Just not enough ranting today. I wanted to get more ranting in. I don't know, man. I was very disappointed by Magnus's statement or whatever. You know, vague accusations of unsupported over the board, you know, cheating. All he needed to say was this guy is an online cheater. I should have dropped out of the tournament in the first place. You know, but I was under a lot of pressure with my business dealings. But this vague continuing with the unproven over the board cheating stuff with no backing it up, man. Just didn't need to do that. It doesn't matter. Why did Hans get chosen to play in the Sinkfield Cup? That's what I want to know. I mean, I hate Sinkfield and I hate St. Louis, but I I mean, you could have picked other people, right? You could have gotten like Sam Shanklin to play, or, some kind of established entity. Rockport, like, couldn't play. I have another question. All right. Is there some kind of vaccination requirement to go to the United States now? Is that still in place, Chess Zebra? Because I don't really understand. Like, they're saying that, like, Rockport couldn't play in St. Louis because he realized, he was unvaccinated. He's like Djokovic or whatever. But I thought, like, the vaccination requirements were lifted. I didn't really get that. I don't understand why Rockport couldn't go to the United States. I still don't understand that. I thought that's like a thing of the past. Do you still have to have a COVID vaccination? State to state. Dude, I mean, Missouri? I mean, seriously? There's no way that Josh Hawley would sign off on the Missouri COVID vaccination requirement. It's like one of the reddest states in the United States. They couldn't possibly have like a vaccination requirement, could they? I mean, is it possible it's just the St. Louis Chess Center or whatever? Like their like private requirement? Maybe that's the deal? Like the players had to be vaccinated? That's what I don't understand, Because it wasn't supposed to be Hans. It was supposed to be Rockport. And Magnus naturally, like, probably didn't even know until the last minute that idiot was playing. And he knows that he's a cheater. But on short notice, he probably was like, alright, I'm not going to say anything with the deal going on with, and then he's at the board with Hans, and he's like, shit. I think this guy's a cheater. I can't concentrate. I'm going to lose this guy. It's too late now. But he should have he said in his statement, he should have, dropped out right away. That's what I said. If it's me, I am not playing in that tournament in the first place, obviously. U.S. travel restrictions related to COVID-19. U.S. travel restrictions? But I mean, somebody here must know for sure. I mean, if my family goes to the United States, do we have to have COVID vaccinations or not? Because, like, not many countries are requiring that. I thought that was a thing of the past. That's surprising to me, if that's true. I mean, like, I'm going to Italy in November, and Italy's really been very much at the forefront of being careful about the pandemic, and I don't think even they require a COVID vaccination anymore, or proof of COVID vaccination anymore. Google says it was U.S. travel restrictions. The truth is we don't really know. That was written somewhere. But who knows the source? Well, anyways, knight d5. I mean, at first I was like, oh, Rockport's an idiot, but then I thought about it, and yeah, like, seriously, who would have thought, like, he would still have to have a vaccination? I can't really blame him for that, I would have assumed the same. I mean, he should know, but he should have known sooner than he did. He is an idiot for that, but I mean, I'm not talking about whether it's a good idea to get vaccinated or not. I'm just talking about, the legal requirements are in place or not, because I don't even know. I would assume tomorrow if I get on a plane, I don't have to have a COVID vaccination. Why do I have that idea, But maybe planes are different from going over the Mexican border, like you say. Maybe for flights it's required, whereas it's not, like if you're crossing over the border with a car. Yeah, I get it. You're in close quarters. But anyway, that wasn't my point. Although, maybe like if that was the requirement, Rockport could get around it by like flying to Mexico and then, crossing over the border with a car. I mean, or Canada. Canada just rolled back the restrictions, I believe. Man, Troll is taking over here. Queen a5 is tempting, but where do I want to put my queen? Yeah, we got to keep our knight protected. Wow. That's a nice diagonal. I think I'm changing my plan. Actually, I don't know what to do. This is a tough one. Rook c8. Yeah. I guess the safest place to be is like, Central Africa or something, Bob. If you're worried about a nuclear attack. South America. But not Brazil. Probably on Sunday there's going to be like a major uprising in Brazil when Lula wins. I would say like other parts of South America or Central Africa, even Australia, New Zealand's not safe. They could easily get nuked. Antarctica. I was wondering, is it safer in the United States or in Europe? Maybe Hungary is actually fairly safe. We are like an ally of Putin, so... There was this Hungarian lawmaker who... I don't know if he's a lawmaker. It was in the news yesterday. Some Hungarian, like, nationalist was calling for Hungary to declare war on the United States. This is a true story. Apparently, like, Hungary did declare war on the United States, like, at the end of World War II at some point, before the end of World War II. So it wouldn't be the first time Hungary declared war on the United States. Disappointing blunder by Troll. A friend here. Well, I mean, I guess the point with vaccinations isn't that it's going to prevent you from getting it, but hopefully it prevents you from getting a serious illness. I haven't, even thought about it lately. 90% of the U.S. would be like Hungary. That's in Europe, right? Donald Trump knows where it is. He couldn't find it on the map. Even though he's like a big supporter of Orban. I guarantee Trump wouldn't find Hungary on the map. Alright. Nah. Bob immediately started the political stuff. Nuclear war. I don't know, man. I think it's far more likely that we'll see a long drawn out situation rather than a nuclear war. Bob's usually wrong about everything. Okay, A5. Whatever Bob says, the opposite. If he says nuclear war, I say it's going to be like a long, drawn-out struggle. Just for principle. I was playing poker last weekend at the poker club here, and there was this guy who was speaking, fluent English, Western English, and I like assumed he was American. I'm like, you're American too? He's like, no, Canadian. I was telling him, I always like would pretend I'm Canadian, you know, because it's embarrassing to be an American. He was laughing. It's an old joke, you know. After you've been an expatriate, patriot here for a long time, you learn to pretend you're American. I mean, Canadian. But I don't have a good Canadian accent. He didn't have a strong accent either, though, so I wasn't sure. Safer to pretend you're Canadian. That's always been the case. Canadian, eh? So you want to be a Canadian, eh? He didn't talk like that. I thought he was like from America. The old troll running out of time trick. Been a while since I had one of those. Pawn is weak, no games. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Unless you're Bob. Bob, that sounds like something you'd see on an interesting talk show. 6-0. Not a good time control. How do you know what castrated people sound like anyway? How do you know, so much about that? What makes you such an expert? An authority in that topic. Shucky. Big Bass. I was like the spin the wheel bass fishing game in the arcade that has the Canadian accent. But basically Canadians sound the same as like people from Minnesota. I don't recognize any difference. Like the Great Lakes, Americans sound the same. People from Maine talk weird too. Pretty much anyone from the northern part of the United States. Maine, the Great Lakes. I don't think I've ever met anyone from like North Dakota before, but they probably talk weird too. It's weird to see Shucky playing the Sveshnikov. Swishnikov. Yeah, I know how to. Makes me miss Rocky and Bullwinkle. You talk about Mounties. No, interestingly, I've only ever been to Canada once. He loved to fight, and that's all they do. It's like Fight Club. I mean, it's not like there's a large population in North Dakota. I'm just trying to think about the border states. Oregon isn't on the border. You've got Washington State, North Dakota. What else is on the border? How's my geography? Wait, what about Montana? Does Montana border Canada? Promise me you guys won't. Michigan, although it's like lake. Bob, you're still single? after c4, the classic g4 Velimirovich Emery Tate variation. I've played that quite a bit. I'm supposed to play, what is it, like g3? Is queen h5 a thing here? I don't know. New Hampshire. Yeah, New Hampshire's just talk, they just talk like New Englanders. But I've never met anyone from like the border, like way, way up in New Hampshire. I don't know. They seem similar to Massachusetts, accent-wise. There's a kind of New England, universal New England accent, somewhat universal, different variations, but g4 again. Did I play this against you before? No, it's not you. It's Shaki. What do you mean again? I couldn't remember, like, what happens if g3, bishop e6? I'll tell you guys what's bothering me, right? Like, if I play g3, he plays bishop e6, and I don't remember the theory here. I mean, do I have some kind of, like, sack on b5 or something? Let's say g3, bishop e6, bishop g2, f5. I have queen h5 check, and then black has to play king d7. Or bishop f7, queen f5, which doesn't look good. Rook g8. Is this the right position? Am I playing the wrong position here? I feel like I played g4 too early. Revoked. Oh. Yeah, that guy. Ethics Commission. I don't understand, like, why did Feller not get revoked? You know, the other day, like, what's the deal with Feller? Why the other day when, like, someone was listing all the cheaters, again, they didn't list Feller. I don't understand why is Feller, like, not considered in the same list of cheaters with those other guys? Is he somehow not as bad a cheater? Or I don't understand. They're talking about the Georgian, they're talking about he was permanently banned from chess? Really? Wow, I didn't hear that. I thought he was, like, back. I have time for one more game after this. Ooh. No, Bob, I mean, our opinion here remains that that guy is a major online cheater. But, you know, who's to say if he cheated over the board or not? It's very hard to prove that without hard evidence. But he's definitely a scumbag. For me, I don't make a differentiation between, like, cheating online and cheating over the board. You know, if you cheat at all. You're just a piece of crap, you know, and you shouldn't be playing chess. I don't make a differentiation between those two. A lot of noobs like do. They're like, well, it's okay to cheat online. It's just online chess. Like, how does that make sense? You know, if you're gonna cheat in one, it's likely you would cheat in the other. I mean, once you cross the border, you know, there's no going back, right, Bob? Now, why stop at murdering just one person? You know, once your moral corruption reaches that level, you might as well just, you know, do like a mass shooting or something. I don't think that people should be forgiven either, you know. Exactly. If your moral senses didn't kick in to stop you from cheating online, it's unlikely, you know, you would have a problem with cheating in the real world. It's just a question of if you can do it or not. But I would think you'd be more interested in the anal beads and different, you know, methodologies. I would think you'd want to delve, Bob, in particular, I would think you would want to delve more into that subject. I was sort of cheating confessions. Damn, somebody got mubatted. You were just in the middle of. You were just in the middle of a confession, and Mubat nuked you. Heart to heart with Mubat. That's an interesting take. Very specific. I know that was made up in jest by some troll and then retweeted by Nylon Mask or something. But I don't know, I was saying today, like, nobody's, you know, a lot of people, they don't respect Magnus's gut instinct. I said this earlier. I mean, this is like one of the greatest players who ever lived. I think we need to pay attention if his gut instinct tells us something, to give it a serious consideration. You're starting to understand G4. But I still don't think Magnus should publicly accuse without evidence. You know, maybe he should just stay quiet on that until he has more to go on than just his gut instinct. I respect it, but most people aren't gonna. That's not gonna be enough for them. Damn, Mubat hammered you on that confession story. That was just awful. It's like, trying to get it out after all those years. You were mocked by the fastest swimmer's mom for losing the race. Damn. So you cheated and you swam in the under 16 at age 17. You lied to the coaches. At least you didn't actually, like, cheat in the competition in a sense, like, directly, but it's still cheating. You've been living with the guilt of that all your life. I don't know what to do here. They forced you to cheat. They put a gun to your head. No, that's like the argument that everybody would make, right? One of their moms was really hot, and she told me, like, I could go to her house and she would make brownies for me. You were literally forced. I'm just playing devil's advocate now. But I appreciate your confession. It takes courage. We should have a special stream like once a month where we do like cheating confessions. And I'll have like a costume. I can dress up like the Pope or something. Or, you know, Patriarch Kirill. That's the latest news from Russia. Father Kirill, like said that all Russian soldiers will be cleansed if they go to the front of all sin. So all of you convicts in the Russian gulag who've like raped and murdered a lot of people, if you go to fight and kill innocent Ukrainians, you will be cleansed. Your soul will be cleansed and you'll be accepted by God. He gave me his white square bishop. Are you sure about that? Use an opening book to play a perfect game? That's funny. Bob came out with his confession. The first time I played Saji in a simul, I used an opening book. You used the opening book to play a perfect Queen's Gambit Decline. I commented that you knew theory, but otherwise sucked. I don't think you should give me your light square bishop. I feel like I did something weird in this game. Is this even the right Velimirovich? But pawn takes pawn, is that the main line? I can't even remember. What? I don't understand here. Why are we out of book? I just have it turned off. Okay. I just had it turned off for some reason. So c3. Yeah, so your move is actually wrong. Shaki. I have the sack on b5. See, that's my lack of knowledge. Horvath Tomasz just accepted my friend request on Facebook yesterday after I requested his friendship last year or something. I'll have to send him a message. Hey, what about FTC4? He wrote the original book on the Sveshnikov that, along with Dorian, that I had when I was 12 years old. It had Dewey Decimal Point System chapters, and I was freaked out by it, and it made me never want to play theoretical openings. It was a traumatic experience. Bishop takes b5, a takes b5. The Hungarians, Dorian and Thomas, they worked out the theory in the Sveshnikov massively in the late 80s. Knight takes g5, bishop e6, knight check, king d7, knight a8. This is apparently all forced. Queen takes a8, queen f7 check, bishop e7, queen f5, king c7, queen e4. Advantage to white. Rook and 3 pawns for 2 pieces. Apparently this version is very good. You're not supposed to play f takes e. You're supposed to play bishop g7 in this particular move order. Then I can play knight c2, then you take on e4, and then I'm supposed to play... No. Then you play bishop... What is this? I'm supposed to play e takes f5. Alright. I'm confused. I know. I got confused. It's g4 here. I'm supposed to play g4 here. It's not a great line, but it's just tricky. I played it against Schieberspieler. I played it against Mr. Slow. Time is up. Yeah, so we're both clueless. you're supposed to play bishop g7. I played e takes f5. I mean, if you look at my games here, well, that's weird. No, that's crazy. It says Sparkle versus White. I played e takes f5 every game. That's impossible. I've literally played g4 in this position. That's impossible. Wait, I'm in the wrong position again? I don't understand. What is going on? Knight d5, f5. Oh, I've played g4 right away. Oh, that's interesting. So after c3, bishop g7, here. Oh, that's interesting. We can play a delayed g4. I always played it on the earlier move. But it's interesting that Velimirovich has played both, I think. Yeah. The Velimirovich has done both. It's not supposed to be good. It's a speculative pawn sack. Anyways, it's confusing. You're supposed to play bishop g7. Alright. That clarifies that. Pranav Kumar. Let's do it. Last game. Gotta go. Will Amirovich. That's FIDE trainer seminar. But is that like to become a FIDE trainer? How should I do? What's your question exactly? Yeah, for the first time, speaking of Facebook, for some reason, like in the last week, Yusupov showed up on my Facebook friend suggestions. You know, Facebook is weird though. It's like I've never ever had Yusupov pop up in my Facebook friend suggestions. Just this last week. I don't know why. It's weird. I never met him. I mean, honestly, I think like, you know, there'd be like, yeah, getting lessons with Yusupov or something. I really think that FIDE trainer program is just personally, I think it's like just a means for them to, you know, make money. It's kind of a scam. But as far as like, you know, in that case, the way you're viewing it is good. I think it's like a training seminar with Yusupov. Probably a good thing. It would probably be worth it. As far as chess training goes, yeah, don't spend your family's hard-earned money if they don't have enough gas and food. Don't use Facebook. You're a man. Bob, did you see about Rachel Dolezal's OnlyFans page? I brought this up earlier, but you and Mr. Coffee weren't here. I like to stay up to date on everything, you know, important. And actually, WJ Loof may be interested too. So that woman who was like trying to become black or pretend she was black, she's got an X-rated OnlyFans page, apparently. It was a real scandal. I don't have OnlyFans, but Mr. Coffee talks about it often, you know. And when you said like you shouldn't use Facebook, I thought about, well, what alternative do I have? Mr. Coffee's totally into it. We have to get the R-rated subjects in there with Bob in the house. But I know Mr. Coffee likes OnlyFans. I really want to play Queen G5, but I feel like it might not work. There might be some technical problems. Another interesting idea. Someone has been like, there was that huge scandal about pretending to be black. Well, everyone was, it was like a meme. I mean, everyone was like, I don't know if she's anybody's type. But, I've only seen G-rated. G-rated. I'll stay on the G-rated. Thank you. Yeah, she's trying to be like transracial. Exactly. That was racial appropriation. Yeah, that kind of thing. But I guess she had gotten out of, the media eye, and this is her way of getting back into focus. Monocrusis, you mean? Great advice. I have watched What a FIDE Trainer seminar on YouTube. A Greek trainer, Monocrupios? Is that really their name? But you're not talking about like the American guy, Dennis Monocrusis, are you? He's not Greek. I mean, he has a Greek name, but he's an American. He's like a professor at, or was. He teaches some kind of. He's a weird guy. Dennis Monocrusis. Right, she was president of an NAACP. Yeah, that was the point. She was exposed as not even being black, and she was president of an NAACP chapter. I mean, it's just crazy. This was a couple years ago. Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Not only are you pretending to be black, but you're being the president of an National Association, African Americans or whatever chapter. He had an active website. Yeah, that guy did a blog a lot. But he's definitely not Greek. I mean, he might have like Greek relatives, but he's he was teaching at Notre Dame or something. I met him at the Marshall Chess Club once, but I don't really know him. National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But he likes gyros, so that makes him Greek. I like gyros too, but it doesn't make me Greek. That's a hard thing to fake for a long time. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't even want to say it. Bob, another scandal that you may not be aware of. Israeli Grandmaster Ilya Smirin was covering like the World Women's Grand Prix or something, and he got in trouble for questioning whether men should be allowed to play in women's tournaments. Did anybody see that story? I mean, it's still not 100% clear exactly what he said that was clearly like sexist. Feels like they nuked him and pulled the trigger a little quickly. I mean, I know his viewpoint. I recognize there's a lot of people with this old school sort of like women shouldn't be in chess and stuff. But, you know, technically he didn't actually say anything that was really, really bad. You know, he makes this classic argument of, if women can play in men's tournaments, why can't men play in women's tournaments and stuff like that? You know, he said, like, well, if she's a women's grandmaster, why does she want to have a men's grandmaster title? Like, you know, basically he was making like rhetorical questions, and that Belgian WIM freaked out. He also told her what? She never what you think of. She never what you think of this position. She said, I have never played this. And he responded, that is why you have never achieved anything in chess. Yeah, but I mean, I gotta be honest about her, you know. Like, I mean, she's not a strong player. And she's typical. There's a lot of men like her too, who are chess commentators, who aren't particularly strong players, but they're seen as these like great chess commentators. Smirn is projecting his feeling that she's a weak player. I think she's a weak player too, relatively speaking, to be like commentating on a tournament of that level. Man or woman, you know, I don't think that she's like strong enough to be commentating on a tournament of that level. So he probably felt that. Dude, strong players are arrogant, you know. He's a world-class player. Like, she shouldn't even be in the booth with him. I mean, there are women that can be, you know, Alexander Kostyanyuk or Arena Crush or lots of these like really strong women players. But she's not even close, you know. But you can't say that, you know. I mean, it's not like sexist. It's like, I'm just a better player than you. You know, women or men or whatever. I mean, you don't belong in the booth with me. You know, you're a 2100 player, and you're talking to me like you're my equal. Like, I get it, man. You know. There's no way a 2100 player should be treated as an equal to a 2600, regardless of sex, age, whatever. I mean, he's like a chess god compared to her. So I get that. You know, Korchnoi would have been the same way. I think there's an element of that to it. You know, just I'm a way better player than you. You don't even belong in the booth with me in the chess, you know. But the guy obviously has no political correctness whatsoever. I mean, we're talking about commentating like a strong tournament. It's fine if we're like teaching beginners. But to be honest, like for a WAM, she's pretty weak. You know, there are a lot of WIMs who are like 2300 FIDE, and she's like 2100. She's made a name for herself through her active streaming and stuff, but objectively, not a particularly strong player. He wasn't tactful, you know, but I mean, there's a contingent of people who think that it was wrong that people overreacted. No, Anna Rudolph is stronger, although, you know, she also isn't in the league, you know, to be considered. Ilya Smirin level. Dude, I've been playing chess for 35 years. Strong players are arrogant, you know? I mean, they're not going to give you the time of day. Do you think like a 2650 player is going to talk to a 2100 player about chess at least? I don't know. This is this Stella Antoni or whatever from Belgium. I think she's from Belgium, but I mean, she's really not particularly strong player. You could have a lot of much stronger players who are also female doing her job. The bottom line is, like, she's not really qualified, in my opinion, you know, as a good enough player to be a commentator for a high level tournament. You could find tons of strong women players who could be both charming, strong players as well. There are tons of them. But Ilya Smirin apparently has like no he has no personality. He's like just I don't think the guy, you know, ever commentated before. He doesn't know what he's doing. Being a strong player doesn't make you a good chess commentator, that's for sure. But I think, like, you know, when it's a very serious event with strong players, you ought to have, like, strong players as the commentators. WIM isn't important. Titles aren't important. I think the rating means more. Not whether she's a WIM or not. You know, 2100 player is pretty weak, honestly. Regardless of your sex. Alright, but anyways, I don't know. You know, he should be more politically correct, but it's not clear, you know, he should have gotten nuked. He was asking rhetorical questions. I like how this guy's 1700, he's gonna draw me. Dracofire, you feel hurt? Well, I mean, if it makes you feel better, 2350 is not strong either. So, don't feel hurt. 1700. 1400 bullet. My last game for today, sadly. I don't know, man. Whatever happened to, like, having respect for strong players? I would be, you know, I'd be honored to, like, commentate with a 2700 player. But he could have been more gracious about it. Definitely. Wow. Wow is right. But I mean, there's all these people like Susan Polgar leading the charge. Of course. Yeah, and there's no reason for me to play that. I could just play rook b8, right? I'm not, like, justifying what Smirin said. I think he was insensitive. But I do think the reaction was too much. He didn't say, like, men are better than women. You know, you get the feeling like he might believe that, but $21.63. You know, I mean, it's weird to me to have players who are like 2100 commentating on the games of players who are like 25, 23 to 2600. You know. It's kind of weird. I mean, if it's like a Scholastic tournament and you're commenting on the games of 1800, so I'm fine with that, you know. But how is a 2100 player like qualified to commentate on games of players that are like, I don't know, much higher rated than her? I mean, it seems a bit odd to me. Of course, we've seen this a lot, yeah. Anna Rudolph style stuff. Anna Rudolph has the same rating, you know, a little lower than me. She's much stronger, but okay, it's all relative. Yeah, this guy's defending pretty well. You have to admit. It is hard to believe he's 1700. Like, how can Maurice Ashley comment on a Carlsen game? Yeah, I mean, it's borderline. It's borderline, but I mean, how can anybody? Nobody's as good as Carlsen, right? But in general, yeah. I agree. This is not your typical 1700. Who has an engine? My opponent or Maurice Ashley? Yeah, I mean, weak by Grandmaster standards. He's not. His achievement in chess is not much greater than me. You know, he has like a max rating of 35 points higher than me, like lifetime. When we're talking about Maurice Ashley. But I mean, Maurice is liked for his commentary style. Wow. Okay. He instantly sees the moves. I admit this account is pretty ridiculously strong for his rating. Not to mention fast. I mean, if he's that good, he would be more like 2100. We've had this discussion like a million times. I think a lot of cases it's people like letting their friends play on their accounts and stuff. Mostly. Family members and friends. But didn't ATT have a program like that? Family and Friends or whatever? He saw that. Your position is crushing. Oh no! Wrong color rook pawn. He sacked for the wrong color rook pawn. Pranav Anand. Typical Indian player. I played this guy like 4 years ago, and he was like 2100. Now he's like 2500. That's so weird, man. He sacked for the wrong rook pawn. It was probably a draw. I mean, I think this is a draw. The 2. Bishop n2. Another thing that's crazy, I'm about to stalemate him with queen a5. If you're that good, like, here's a serious question. If you're that good that you can almost draw a 25 plus player, why would you not know how to resign? I mean, doesn't that seem kind of weird? Just reduce the chance of stalemate. It's like, how could you be good enough to almost hold me to a draw, but not resign in a totally lost position? Does that make sense? I mean, you could say, oh, it's a little kid. They don't understand, of course. But anyone who's like good enough to play that well should understand that, you know, that you need to resign. A matter of age. No, I mean, it's a matter of experience. I mean, it's not about age, Morales. It's about your experience. There can be, like, you know, 12-year-olds, 5-year-olds who know when it's time to resign because people have taught them that. And normally, if they're strong enough, they've played enough strong players. They know that. But it's weird, you know, to behave like an 1100 and play like a 2100. You know, that for me is weird. This was a draw, I believe. The 2 pawns, I gotta go. Is a draw. Yeah. The pawns are too close together. I think it would be interesting if it was separated by one more file. Maybe it's a win if I have it like on the D file, let's say. These are interesting endgames when you have 2 separated passed pawns. They have to be spread out enough. Did you see how he forced the trade of rooks? How can I keep rooks on the board? Only by losing one of my pawns. Yeah, objectively, at this point, I should keep the rooks on the board, but it's a theoretical draw. Here. 2 pawns up. Rook a1 check. Yeah, I mean, here he saw rook a2 in 2 seconds. I just can't imagine, you know. It's amazing. I was totally winning, but I didn't see the win. I did not see a win here. Rook e4. Rook takes e4. F takes e4. Queen g5 check. I mean, how am I to see this? This is a win. How can I see that in time pressure that this is a win? No way to be sure without time to calculate. It's depth 19. I mean, depth 14, whatever, depth 16. I know that I'm clearly better, but I didn't know for sure if I'm winning. Apparently I was winning again. Here with bishop c3 check. That was like pretty obvious. Should have seen that. Alright, it was a sketchy day today. I gotta go, guys. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back on Sunday with Simul. Sunday Classical Simul, so join us then. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Thanks for all of your support. Please donate, support the stream. The old lady at work. An old lady at work. All right, have fun with the old ladies at work. I'll see all you guys later. Bye bye.